Okay, so copy what I write down. So for number 1, so make sure you're looking at Monday. Today we're only doing Monday, which is 1 through 4. So it says determine the coordinates of the square. So the square is right here. So in order to determine the ordered pair for it, I have to know what it's counting by. It's counting by ones. So each line is 1. That's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 is my x. Remember, the x goes first when I write it down, and then the y. So I have -6, and then that is where the square is, and then my y. These are my y numbers, and then 5. So the answer to number 1 is -6 is my x. X comes first, just like in the alphabet, then y, comma, 5 is my y. So that's the ordered pair. Now number 2, you have to remember how to divide, long division. You divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So I always underline the first number and see if it's bigger than the divisor. So the dividend, the divisor, and we're going to find the quotient. So 5 is bigger than 2. So if I have 5 cookies, I can divide them into 2 groups. How many in each group? Well, 5 divided by 2, the closest is 2. So I divided, then multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. Then I subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. So copy this down. Okay, now I bring down. So I bring down the next number. Only bring down one number at a time. That's super important. Now I have 12, so I start over. I divide. 12 divided by 2. If I have 12 cookies and divide into 2 groups, there's going to be 6 cookies in each group. Okay, so I divided. 6 times 2 is 12. Then I subtract 0. Then I bring down one number only. I get 2. 2 divided by, so I start over since I brought down. So 2 divided by the divisor 2 is 1. 1, then I multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract is the next step. I get 0. Then I bring down 7. Okay, now I start over. Divide. 7 divided by 2. If I have 7 cookies, how many groups of 2 can I make? I can make 4 groups. 4 is not, it's too much, so I can make 3. 3 groups. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so 7 minus 6 is 1. Okay, in 6th grade, we don't have a remainder, so we have to get rid of the remainder by adding a decimal 0. So decimal 0. So add that to your paper. Then I can start out. Well, I still have to bring down. I just subtracted and I bring down my 0, which it becomes 10. So I start over and divide. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And don't forget to bring your decimal straight up. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then I get no remainder. So that's the answer to number 2. So the answer is 2,613.5 or 5/10. Okay, now let's do number 3. So we got to divide fractions. So if we've done this before, but in order to divide fractions, you can only have one numerator and one denominator. This is a mixed number. It has a whole number and a fraction. So we got to change that. So I'll rewrite it below. 22/3 divided by, so we got to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. So we multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. And then that 10 is added to the 1. So 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 over 2. We keep the remainder or the denominator the same. Okay? So now we got to multiply.